organize this, and without it.
Hey, I've just launched because there's 11, and I've just launched the live, so
hello,
we
guys.
should be visible for people now. Hi everyone.
Yeah, you see more than I do.
Yeah, we are visible to everyone now.
Great.
So I will just introduce us. Hi everyone on the chat. As you can follow the chat on YouTube as well if you open the.
Yes, that's a good idea, so I can see as well what we're talking about, like what you guys are talking about. Yes, open it. Because we are in actually two countries. You're in Poland and I'm in Hungary.
Yeah.
So this is true Spiel digital. Normally we would be standing in front of each other at a booth.
Yeah, and it will be not that convenient with so many. I love the original Essen Spiel, but with so many people around, with those crowds, it's impossible to have long and calm talk at the booth because everyone is asking something and there's just crowds.
Yeah, but we have to find a solution for that. So how to accommodate to the new circumstances, I would say. Oh, nice mug.
Yeah, it's in dishwasher a little bit worn off because this should be the full Pokeball, but yeah.
We have to expect geek stuff from each other, I think.
Yeah, we have cups for Pokeball and for Mario. This
nice
question mark, this yellow one.
Nice, really cool.
This is mine.
And where is Oleg?
You mean Greg?
Greg, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No problem with that. Greg, I think he's just chilling and maybe reading the. I hope he's reading the rule book for the next game we have to review.
Which one is going to be that?
This one will be because yesterday we finished reviewing the playtesting the Nova Etas Renaissance now on Kickstarter, and I've already recorded a video with the review. I wrote most of the materials and we'll post it in the next few days. And now we have to work on other Ludus Magnus game, and it's called Day Divide Est Impera.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Yeah, something like that. So Divide and Rule. Yeah. So they have Pledge Manager still open, and for the occasion of this, we will help with them to reach our audience as well with the game. We haven't played yet, so no idea is it going to be good, but cross fingers because most of the games of Ludus are decent enough, and we hope it will be good and good for our audience too.
Nice. Then I would say let's jump right into it, and let's begin. Is our audio acceptable, guys, in the chat? I mean, I hear myself in the room, but you might be experiencing something different.
Yeah, I think I can always check with Greg. But yeah, he's saying everything is okay.
Great, perfect. So who are you guys? How did we meet? Let's start there.
Who are you guys? Oh my God. So we're just simple, reviewers, testers. But to be honest, no. We started 2 years ago with our IG channel and with Pick IG, I mean Instagram, because it was the most convenient for us because we were afraid to show our faces. Were a lot of barriers to talk in public, to talk in English, all those things to make the videos, especially when you see guys like Quackla, Kings of Average, and the other guys, natives who are speaking very, of course, fluent, and they have big audience and good quality of the videos. But in the last few months, we are thinking that IG is not enough, and it has its own limitation. There's a lot of them. So we decided if we want to mean something in the community more, especially in the eyes of publishers, but in the community too, we need to make a YouTube channel as well. So I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we launched our YouTube channel. And now we are trying to manage both Instagram and YouTube. Mostly we are focusing on medium and heavy board games. Sometimes we're reviewing also party games if the theme is nice, because we are very into we are for very thematic and immersive games. You see on the shelf we have games like and we have also your Eldritch Crate here. So we have Eldritch Horror, we have very fans of Lovecraftian things, we have Barrage, Rebellia, so everything very strong themed games, and mostly medium, mostly heavy, and mostly with miniatures because why not? We love miniatures.
Miniatures are awesome, right?
Yeah.
So where does your name Beastie Geeks come from? Why Beastie? Because of miniatures?
I think I should have prepared answer for this, but I have not. There's always a lot of the wolf symbols around stuff we were doing. I have also a lot of wolf tattoos. Honestly, I have no idea why, but it's connected in some way. And we thought that this Beastie Geeks, it's also the symbol to showing that we are making bold interviews, bold reviews, bold opinions. I'm trying to avoiding saying without bullshit because it's not, it sounds well, but without sugarcoating, even if we are making the reviews,
getting to the point.
Yeah, exactly. And even if we're reviewing games, because we get prototypes from the publishers. So on one hand, we are thinking, okay, it will be weird to say only bad things about that game, but in most cases, the games we are getting are good and decent. So it's easy for us to, not lose our face and be honest with the audience.
So let's talk about reviews. I had the chance to be part of the media team from Hungary to Essenspiel 2000, maybe 18. So I was there, or like 17, like way back, and I had the struggle. Okay, I'm interested in like 10 games from the 2000s, which are there, and of course the publisher may or may not be interested in my review. So how do you choose, or how are you being chosen to review something?
So you're saying about the tips for starting?
Not just starting, but how is your approach of like, I'm interested in something, or the publisher's interested and he approaches me, but I'm not interested. So how do you deal with meeting the demand and offers?
If you are interested and if we are reaching the publisher, so the key thing is to being stubborn, because I'm also a marketing guy. During the day, I'm running the marketing for IT companies daily. So I know how crazy and chaotic and a lot of things you have to manage at the same time. And if you have the CAS campaign, there is double it, triple it, or even more the craziness you have with the CAS. So I know that publishers are getting a lot of messages from reviewers, from journalists, and first you need to be stubborn and not to just end after one message or one channel. You have to maybe not attack, but try to reach from different angles, and not to waste time of the publisher. Say exactly what you have to offer and what the publisher can get from the cooperation, and that's all. If you have the nice, if your media channels and your audience is something the publisher is looking for, and then statistics of you, because they're always they're often asking about the statistic of the channel, and the statistics are enough for them, so the cooperation will probably be finalized. So this way is about being, consistent with trying to reach the publishers you want, and if the publisher is reaching us, if it's the game in our interest, is great. If it's the game, if not in our interest, and it happens. So sometimes, because it's easy after a few years of playing few hundred of games, reviewing games, and living and breathing board games, it's often quite easy to after just seeing materials, after seeing the art style, after seeing the draft KS page, to have an opinion if the game will be something for you or if not for your audience. So sometimes, yes, they are reaching us, the reviewers, with the games, totally not not something for our audience, and then we are just saying, sorry guys, maybe with the future game, but this is not something our audience probably will like. So we'll waste our time, our audience will be not interested, and in effect you will not have the reach and the leads for your campaign.
Like, if I would be a publisher, I would really appreciate this approach, because it's open and straightforward. What I would get, I wouldn't get, or what I was expecting, and it turns out it wouldn't be happening. But what's your experience? Do publishers accept your denial, or are they like frustrated, like, I was supposed to send you free games and you do not accept? How is that possible?
Board game community, I think for now and I hope it will stay for the future, most of the publishers, and because not all, but most of the publishers and most of the community are very super nice in the comments, but also in the DM, in the private communication. So even though one time we had such a response you mentioned about when we stayed honest, and it works in both ways. We are always asking the publisher if something is wrong with cooperation, or if something you need more or you need less, or just anything, just say it straight, because we both sides don't have enough time, always not enough time, and just easier to be straightforward with the communication and just to cooperate. So till now everyone on both sides are quite kind, so we don't have problem like that.
That's also my experience. But you're two people, right? So but you have one channel. So what happens when you two don't agree? I guess that happens.
Can you repeat the question?
So what happens when you and Greg don't agree on a game you have to review? So you're sitting there, you're playing the game, and you're saying, "Oh, this game is awesome," and then he comes in, "No, this is bullshit. This doesn't work."
We have this argue with the Gloomhaven, because I can see the places in which Gloomhaven is not that good game, but in general, I love Gloomhaven for its combat, for its mechanic, for its strategic and tactical layers. And Gloomhaven personally, I love Gloomhaven, but Greg has problem with this game a lot, a lot of problems, and that's why probably we didn't publish anything about Gloomhaven till now, because we can't agree on the one opinion. In most cases, we agree on almost everything. Sometimes we have the minor differences, and then we are just adding the quote from me or from Greg that he's not agreeing with this, and this is his counter opinion. And with YouTube, we are just talking, the two of us, but now to save the time, we are just making videos. One video is making Greg, one video is making by me. So it's easier to manage a lot of content.
Therefore, you can basically reach two types of players, one who are closer to your opinion and the other one who's closer to Greg's opinion.
Yeah, theoretically, but trust me, 99% of the cases about games, about the opinions, about the reviews. We agree on most things because we have the all very similar taste with the games and with the mechanics. So there is not a lot of differences here. So there is no scandal here.
I have to ask this question. This comes up all the time. Euro or Emery? This has to be cleared for once or all.
Okay, so there is a difference because for me, Emery, for Greg, I think Euro. Because
would make sense if he doesn't like Gloomhaven.
Yeah, I'm Amory because I'm the more miniature guy, and Euro for Greg because Euro is the genre Greg win more often.
Okay.
So I think this is also the reason.
We have kind of the same with my wife because I love games in general, and for me it's more about the community or the players that I play with than rather the game. But we love to play Twilight Imperium. It's a heavy game. It's complex, it's long. My wife usually tends to short games, except Twilight Imperium. She just loves it. Twilight Imperium is not a game about warfare and creating a huge army and just rushing down on your opponent. It's about 10 points. I know that. I quote this line every game. Despite knowing that this game is not about warfare, I make a huge army till the end of the game, kind of, and try to rush on someone else. And then my wife comes in and wins with 10 points. And I'm like, how do you do it? So I totally understand that you have this complex maze of liking games, which are still out of your general pool. But then there's some aspect of the game and you say, oh, I love this thing. And for her, this is like Twilight Imperium, for me as well, but I cannot understand how to win it. And I'm sitting there like, I understand the mechanics of the game, but for me, that's just no fun of like, going to that island or whatever.
I think you should talk with Greg because he has the same with Everdell. Because Everdell is game loved by almost everyone. This is the game for the masses, and this is great in general. And it's not super hard game. But every time we are sitting at the table, Greg is just paralyzed with the card playing mechanic, and he enjoys the game, but he can't score more points than 30, 40 points more. Outside, he can think outside of the box with that one game, and he's super good with Euro games, with the Great Western Trail and some other complex games. But Everdell is something beyond him. So
then you have just one which clicks, but not in the same way than for other people. And you understand the mechanics, the core, but it's still not. It's not in your workflow or your game flow, I would say. So back to reviews. When I sit down to a game and I play it, I have a general feeling of it. I say, I would love to play it again, or I love this, man, just sit down, do it once again. Or I have the third option, no, this is not my type of cake. So when you review, what is your work process? So how do you say, I received the box till the point where you publish the review?
Okay, so after starting the cooperation, mostly through emails, but also through media channels. And the first thing we are going through before reaching the game is checking all the press kit materials about the game. And even before agreeing on the cooperation, we are starting to get this to decide if the game will be right for our audience. And when we agree on the cooperation and before game reaches us, we are trying, it's not always possible, but we are trying to read the rule book before the prototype reaches to save the time. But because in most cases, producing prototype is expensive thing, and this is more and more expensive than producing the final game. So there is only several prototypes typically for one case campaign, just circling around the world. And the faster you check, test, and review your game and make all the content, and you send it to the next reviewer, the better for the publisher. So we are trying to minimize the time. And then when game reaches our home, for us it's easy because we are every afternoon we are spending, especially now with the COVID situation, it's super easy to spend all afternoons with video games.
Nice.
Sorry, board games. I don't know why I say video games. I haven't played video games in 6 months, I think. To spend all afternoons playing board games and thinking about board games. So in most cases, the same day we receive the game, we are at least trying to set up the game and make a few sample turns of it with the rule book. And if the game is the less complex, we can finish the same day and play the game. And then in the upcoming days, check from the different angles and try different approaches and strategies. If the game is more complex, we are starting the next day playing properly, because the more complex the game, the more mistakes you can make during this play. So it's super important for us to know all the rules there are before making any opinions about the game, because you can make mistakes a lot and put the publisher in the wrong position without understanding.
Biggest mistake you have done so far?
Oh my God, I think the biggest mistake. Greg Wilking. I think the biggest mistake will be with saying a lot of bad stuff about Arkham Horror, third edition of Arkham Horror. Still, we have many things we don't like about this game, but we were too root with this game, because we made we've made the material when we point out over the 10 things we have problem with this game. And from the time perspective, I think at least few things were exaggerated with with our opinion. And I think it comes from that we are in general, we are little not into the way the Fantasy Flying games are going with the application, with all of the applications, because we're big fans of Mansion of Madness. This is our top 2, top 3 games, something like that. We know all the issues. We can see the issues with the game, but we love this game, even if it's with an app. But we have the Journeys in the Middle Earth with the expansion as well. I've painted all the minis, so we have put a lot of effort in this game. But man, this campaign is boring. We have an app for it. So you can switch the text. You can give extra flavor even after the premiere of the game. But comparing it to the Mansion of Madness, to the Arkham Horror Second Edition, to the older games, to the Eldritch, this game is boring with its story, and it's too simply with mechanic. I know that this is the way to reach wider audience with the game, but for us as let's say experienced players, if I can call ourselves like that, this game can be boring. Looks beautiful, great theme, a lot of
it's just not the type of you. Like Trond is writing here in the comments that there are some games which are not working with you, and then you just have to say pass on that. I was more curious about what the biggest rule mistake you have done.
Rule mistake?
Yeah, I have one. When we first played Gloomhaven, we're sitting with 4 players. We took the card deck for the modifiers, and when you make the actions, and you have to flip a card every time you do an attack and all the stuff. And we set the level for medium. Said, yeah, sure, okay, let's put the figurines down, the monsters. First scenario, I think we rushed it through in 10 minutes. And I read comments before on Facebook like, this game is hard and you should try it on easy because medium is too difficult. And we're like, no, there was no challenge. I mean, we just won without even taking much damage. What did we do wrong? Yeah, nothing. And then I was reading again the rules and like, oh, Oh, so you need the whole modifier in the deck, not just the plus one, plus twos. We just put in the additional extra cards which you can gain in the campaign,
oh my God. Okay.
and not the basic cards which are -1, 0, and 1. So we didn't use the original modifier deck, but the advanced cards. So of course it was super easy because we just had a super hit on every card. We didn't miss it one time with the deck. So that was our biggest rule mistake.
It's a common thing that if the game feels too easy, not in every case, but in most cases, if the game is too easy, you probably it's hard to admit, but probably you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I think for the first place, we've made a lot of mistakes. That's why we are not reviewing the game after first gameplay.
Yeah.
Because and if you are playing and reviewing so many games, it's easier to make mistakes with the first gameplay. But one of I think the biggest and the most funnest one we made, it was a few weeks ago when we were playing with friends. And oh my God, we are playing very popular game, but we haven't played in 2 years almost. It was Blood Rage. Yeah. And we forgot some of the rules and just let them explain the game, etc. Mm-hmm. So they also just read the rule book briefly, and we all felt that okay, we know the game. So we started playing, and suddenly during the game, one of the player suddenly gains 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, starting to double us on the board, on the tracking board with the scores. And oh my God, so good player, but it's not possible. I not remember playing like this. And then when we got home and we checked the rule book, it was the thing with the player sheet boards. And then you have the information that every time we thought it's that every time you enter the higher value of the I don't remember the names for the, but you can develop in 3 categories in Gloomhaven on your player board with the let's say with the strength of your army, with the I don't remember, but there are 3 things you can develop your clan, and when you reach certain points, there are extra points, extra victory points for that. 10 points, 20, 30 points. So we played like that. That we every time we enter 10, 20, 30, we just move the victory tracker along the board, and you should score it at the end of the game and once. So if you reach sorry, it was 10 and 20. If you reach 20 points, you get 20 points once,
and not 10 and 20. Yeah, I see. 20. Yeah, that adds a lot of points extra.
There's a lot of points. So yes, it's a common thing, unfortunately.
Okay, so next topic, inserts. What was your first experience with board game organizers?
With organizers, our first experience, I think, was experienced by ourselves. Because first time we want an insert for a game, I think, Greg, what was the first insert you've made? So you heard this?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, so the first insert Greg made was the Eldritch Horror.
Yeah.
And now we just, after some evolutions, we have the Eldritch Crate, thanks to you. So the first one was Greg just ordered through online this black foam.
The foam board,
Yeah, the foam board, and he was just, cutting the board, trying to measure everything using the guides from the Board Games Geek forum.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that bad. It was functional, but it wasn't that great as well. But Greg tried with several games, with Terraforming Mars as well, and other games, there's a lot of content to organize. So he used this form for 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
But it was so time consuming, and it was so hard to make it look decent.
Yeah.
Because every time you put this on the table, you can see the joints, you can see the glue, the pins.
Yeah.
It not look cool on the table. So we started looking for different solutions. And then I think after several insert tries from different, I can say publishers, companies, brands, we found you. And you don't know this, but one of the reason we started cooperating with you and we started to just talking with you about the cooperation was the fact that you, together with your logo, you have this "We Are Green" or something like that. Yeah, so okay, probably they are also nice. They're taking care of environment. There is high chance they are nice as well.
So, that's a big thing. We always try to look out what can we do better, and that was a point which reached us like a year or 2 years ago, and we said, okay, what is the possibility if we're still small? Of course, we are a small team, we're a small company, we are not like Coca-Cola of anything, but I think these small changes matter. If you as an individual have a mindset and you try to represent that mindset, and if we are in a company and we are making products, and I think we have to take this mindset and incorporate it into the way our company works. So we said, okay, let's look into materials. We found birch plywood, which is sustainable. So it comes from afforestation where they plant trees as they cut them down, and it has a license. So it's all monitored by other companies who are monitoring these kind of processes. And we said, okay, this is material we can then proudly present and say, okay, we now know where this material comes from. And also we said, okay, we use paper for the guides, for all the assembly manuals.
Yeah, that's
and we
true.
print them ourselves. So why not use recycled paper? Okay, let's switch to recycled paper. It might be not so white, but has this brownish flavor. But I said it's more closer to wood, I think. And then also, okay, what is the packaging? Because we have to pack them together. What is the easiest? And in some cases we use these boxes. I think for Gloomhaven, we have this paper box, which is also from recycled paper. And for the plastic, it's recyclable plastic.
Okay, that was my question. After saying that everything is recyclable,
why do we use shrink wrap? That was the last point we want to attack, and we've searched like for a year for recyclable shrink wrap, but it's not available. Like in small quantities, definitely not. And so it was very difficult to find even manufacturers who would even consider maybe using recycled plastic and making shrink wrap from it. So the only possibility was for us, okay, we use shrink wrap, but you can recycle it at least afterwards. So it's not just simple waste, but it can be reused. And then also for the packaging, maybe you remember this bubble warp. Not even bubble warp, like you cannot, these are bigger bubbles.
Yeah, that's true.
They're also
this is the long one.
Also, they're also from recycled plastic, and they're also recyclable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And some of them are even, depending what weight class we use, home compostable. So you can just throw them in the waste bin and they just decompose after time. So these are all points. I think all these small little steps matter. And if the gamer community can think this way and slowly change, and our numbers increase as we make more and more games, I think this can make an impact on the world.
Yeah, I think the easiest way for you to grow is to have more and more inserts for more and more games.
Yeah.
But staying at the same time, let's say green positive or something like that.
Yeah.
So taking care about the environment side, I think it will help you with the quality of the audience you have. And
that's what we hope.
They will stay with you, because there is more. I've said to you it before, but I said to you before that board game market is blooming, and there is just a lot more and more things on the board game market. You said it's not something new for you because you are operating on the board game market for 6 years, and you see the growth, not just explosion. From my perspective, in an explosion. And during the COVID, especially now, there are plenty of new solutions for board gamers, accessories, inserts, new companies, new games, new Kickstarters, new YouTubers, new journalists. So
that's true.
This fall is crazy with the board game content.
I think even because we are focusing more on the digital spaces, you're becoming more aware of these
that's true.
newcomers, let's say it, or like let you're looking out for them, so you even that you see them, you recognize, oh, there's someone who I haven't seen before. And I think it's great because we have so many different opinions, and my gaming taste might not match yours, but we can find then someone else who is similar to yours, and then say, okay, I'm looking to his reviews, but I know he's better at that type of game, so I will look to his reviews. And this is giving, I think, more open feedback to the publishers as well about their games, because this is our problem as well. If you don't tell us there's a problem with the product, I don't know about it.
Yeah, it's like coming to the restaurant, and there's always cooking the same thing every day, and you are thinking the food is great because the staff saying so, and clients are just too they have a problem to share the feedback, and you have less and less clients.
Exactly. And then you realize, but it's already too late in a way that, oh, you might have made a mistake. So we are trying to reach out. Let us know. We are here to fix it. We are standing to our products. But I think for publishers as well, that they are hearing more and more open feedback from viewers who are having in a mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna dive into this game. I'm looking to the rules and try to destroy it, like with small comments, but to find what could be improved. So with their next iteration, the next game they're making, they can improve from all the feedback they're getting from reviewers, I think.
But the market is going in both ways, because now you have more and more Kickstarter campaigns where you don't have the prototype, you don't have even the tabletop version of the game.
Yeah.
And this is for don't say the names, but big companies are using this to sell the games, putting a lot of beautiful minis, beautiful content, beautiful gadgets. And there is a massive hype around this, because after making the game, production will be 1 year, 2 years, everybody will just get the game, play, and forget about this. So it's all about this case moment, and not every publisher is open to work with the reviewers, especially if they can control the outcome.
The content itself.
The content, because like in every industry, you have also the full paid reviews. I always comparing to the video market, where now it's very hard to find honest reviews about video games, especially from the main portals. All of them are just to hype the people.
Okay.
And I hope so. We will not go this way in the board game community.
That's it's a difficult situation, because we're seeing big companies getting bigger.
Big cash is involved, and there's the problem now.
Yes, and when it's not the gamers controlling the company anymore, there is a possibility that the mindset is not the same as before. I'm not saying it's necessary to happen, but it could be problematic. That's why I think it's important when you hear from a gaming company that they are gamers as well. They're not just businessmen, but they're coming from the community. But since we struck Kickstarter, good or bad, I'm really curious about that one.
About which
one?
What
do you think about Kickstarter? Like Kickstarter in general, Kickstarting games as it is now, not as it was 5 years ago, but the situation we are seeing now. What is it good? Is it bad? Or what would you improve?
But not only And the situation is going to change again because now there are some companies trying to launch their crowdfunding platforms.
Yeah.
The first example is the Awaken Realms from the Polish market, and so they will try to promote the ISV Vanguard, and then was going through the new crowdfunding platform. So with KS games, I think it's for sure it's much harder for the indie developers to outstand in the crowd, and without big campaign and big budget on the marketing campaign, it's hard to be visible. On the other hand, the big publishers are trying to be better, not all of them, but they trying to improve themselves and trying to compete with each other, but in healthy way for now. And trying to give more and more. Of course, we have the games and the solutions where you are trying to attract people only by the number of plastic within the game. This is the common thing, and we all know that most of us, or maybe more, if not you, but most of the players are buying things on Kickstarter through their eyes. And
I'm not saying I'm not.
Same for me. And we are buying games for the theme, for the package, I've supported many games without checking the rule book or checking generally the playthrough, because I was bought by maybe it was the next game of this company. I said, probably it will be good as well. Or the theme, oh my God, I don't have game with dinosaurs. I need to have game with dinosaurs because we're all big kids and we all need every type of game.
Absolutely.
I have this.
So, I'm also having my pile of shame where the games I received and haven't played yet.
Oh, that's wrong. We don't have pile of shame. We've played every game at least once. Okay,
you're the devil. You're having not enough games. You would think that in a gaming company there's gaming all the time, but it's quite the contrary. We are having a good contact with Mindclash Games. We're doing Tricarian and Anachrony, and I know for a fact that despite their developing games, the designers and all the colleagues there, they are still feeling they're not playing enough, and they're still the pile of shame. So here as well at Laserox, we have this gaming nights every week, either 1 or 2, 3, it depends how we feel. And we of course test games we want to play, make an organizer for, or just test something because we're interested in the game mechanics. So we just play, but it's still like, okay, there's still too many games on the shelf we want to play and we haven't, because then of course it is a campaign game like this one here. And then you play it for the first 3 scenarios. It's one evening, and then but there are still 20 left. When are we going to have time for that? So
we have few campaigns not finished, but with Gloomhaven, because I was so hyped with the game, one day, it was one weekend, we just started Friday night and Sunday night, and we've played through about 20 plus scenarios just to finish the campaign. I said to Greg, I have to finish. It is the last moment for us, because we don't finish the game. We'll never finish the game if we don't finish now.
What I saw in Kickstarter, as Tron was also mentioning in the comments, like 3-4 years ago, we had a game, and the game promised you a setting. When you open it, it's always the same, like regular board games. You open it, and you can the starting point and the ending point is the same, but the route you take might be different depending on your strategy in the game. But then we started with legacy games, and it promised you quite the opposite. So the next game you're playing is going to be a different starting point. You can make the same decisions in the game, but it's going to be a total different game depending on your previous game. And the big games which were hugely successful on Kickstarter, like Kingdom Death Monster, Gloomhaven, had like this legacy element just expanded and saying, okay, here is so much content you cannot process within a reasonable time frame, which you have at home, and then you're just overrun by this feeling. Okay, for this amount of money, I get so much experience, so much content that you feel like, okay, this is worth it. But what I think it's creating, it's pushing you into this deep void where you have, okay, I'm spending way much money than I would normally do in a game, like let's say 30 euros or 40 euros for a game, which I play 20 times maybe in a year. But then I have a game where I have so much content and I'm just not going to play it more than a half a year normally, or that's what usually happens, because there are new games. And the attraction of the new is always bigger than something I've played now 10 times. So
I think this is the board game player are not talking enough, especially online. But this is the two minds in your head, that on the one side you are buying more and more games, and okay, because you are also a collector and something like that, and you are trying to rationalize it. I don't have this game, or I will play this game because it's great. This one is great. This one is great. And now you have all those great games, like, oh my god, Cloudspire. We bought Cloudspire last week on the offline spiel in the Essen spiel, and I remember I was going back 3 or 4 times to the stand because the price was, this is the expensive game, but I thought, oh my god, it's so beautiful, and I will play it so many times with those chips, with these elements, with these play mats. Oh my god! And finally we bought it, and we played, but still not enough times to know the game perfectly and to enjoy the game. And now the game is waiting, and the other game is waiting, and so although we've played all of our games. Many of the games we've played only once or twice or up to 3 times. And for many games, it's not enough to, especially with the complex game, with the hard to learn games, to have fun with the game, to understand the rules. And with the campaign games, it's
And this is what we did 2 years ago. I mean, this challenge exists for like so many years now, I think. I don't know when it started, but like this 10 by 10 challenge, where you take 10 games and you're going to play them 10 times a year. And I see this development in the gamer's life. Yeah, like you start with one game and then you realize, oh, this is different than Monopoly I've played before, or Risiko, or whatever, or Risk, or whatever you've done before. And then, oh, there are more. There's Carcassonne, Catan, and you start with these wherever you step in with this casual gamer category, and then this world opens for you and you see, oh, there's Board Game Geek, I'm lost, and you start buying, and then you end up like 300, 400, 500 games, maybe less. I'm not judging at all. I do have 250 as well, so shame on me.
Peter, we are changing home because the next spree, because we don't have enough space at home. This is true.
See, so and then you arrive at the point where like I have too many games and I don't have time, and then you start reducing. And I think at that point where you find this challenge, okay, I'm really gonna pick 10 games, and I've done it, and I think it's great. And you say, I'm gonna play these 10 games 10 times, and after 10 times, I either gonna sell the game because I say this is enough, I don't want to play it anymore, or I'm gonna keep it because this is a game I'm gonna take out and I know I'm gonna enjoy it again. I think this really helps you to make a conscious decision about your next purchases, where you say, okay, is it really a game I want and I will play it 10 times, or is it just for the fantasy of owning it, for the fantasy of maybe if I have children of my own and my grandma is coming to visit with my aunt, we could play this with 7 people in a small home and have an escape game here in Euro style.
But
you feel this is never going to happen, but you're still like, there's a 1% chance, and for that 1% I'm going to spend 50 euros, no problem at all.
Yeah, that's why we have Twilight Imperium, and that's why we have Dune. And this is the game for you. You need to enjoy this game with 5+ players. So it's easy now. It's almost impossible to have 5 more players, so the games are waiting. And agree with the approach, but I think still each of us will have some of those fantasies. And my fantasy, I think the final fantasy is to have the Battlestar Galactica with all the expansions.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I've played twice at the friends table, and I know this game probably will not end on our table more than twice a year. Yeah. So it's like the fantasy, as you said, fantasy of owning it. But I'm the big fan of the TV series.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hyped because this game is hard to buy. This is also one of the, like with every product, when it's something so hard to the get.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, then you, oh my God, this is the diamond I need to have in my collection, something like that.
Yep.
But so, I'm okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, Battlestar Galactica was basically our first product we developed. I'm a huge fan of the series as well. And I said, okay, this is a great game, but with all the expansions, just setting up the game took me so long. So we said, okay, let's make a box. And for us, the game experience just got enhanced or like got more awesome. And we said, okay, when we are setting up, this is going to be an event. When we have 7 people together, then this is something special. And like the game itself, of course, is special, but the whole process should be special. So it should be a chore of setting up the game, but it should be part of the experience. Like we are taking out the battleships, we are dealing out cards. So this should be all in this mystical Battlestar Galactica feeling. And I think this is where, in my opinion, of course, I'm biased because I'm designing them, but I think where any kind of organizer, if you make it at home, 3D printed, foam core, whatever, do it yourself, but the organizers are helping you to get to this gaming experience much faster. That you're saying, okay, I have 2 hours to play, but if I need 25 minutes to set it up and clean it up, I lost 25% of the time.
Yeah, and there's some games are just waiting forever for being played, and that's the problem we have with almost all campaign games, because for now we have only one table to play. This will change in the future. We'll have separate table for the campaign games.
Yeah,
so you have, or even the solution to changing the table, and this is the next cost you need to get as the board game player. But this is a nice solution to have dedicated for board games table, or just a small pool table with 2 layers. So on the bottom layer you can get the campaign game, and on the upper diner layer you can dine with friends or just play different games. It's also the solution, because setting up still, even with the insert, setting up takes time. I think this is the reason Greg hates Gloomhaven, because Greg is responsible for setting games in our home.
Yeah.
And setting up Gloomhaven.
I feel some kind of unbalance there. Like pushing him all, like, you set up, I just play.
I just play and painting. I'm for playing and painting. So, you know.
Okay, at least, okay, you contribute to the experience with painted miniatures.
Yeah, but you know, painting is fun, but it's also, especially with the game, I hate painting if you have the same same miniatures of the same type. It's so boring to painting them, and now I'm struggling with the Cthulhu Death May Die. I should finish it weeks ago, but there is spiel, there are more games to review, there is daily work, and there's always no time.
I think we should set up a Zoom channel, like a Zoom meeting with like painters around the globe, and then, okay, on Friday from 8 to 9, we're going to paint together, and everyone's sitting at home. What we would normally do at your board game cafe or a wargaming shop, and you just paint together. But then when we sit together and paint at home, and then you have the commitment that I have to be there and have to paint, and then you take the time for that.
There is always not enough time for everything. I even was thinking, if I don't need to work daily, I have a great job, but this is not the job connected to the board games. But if I don't have to do this, and Greg don't need to do his daily job, and we have all 24 hours only for board games, it will be still not enough. It will be still not enough to try all games we want, to paint our minis I want.
Yeah, that's true.
To enjoy with the community. And I believe in the next year, the next fall will be even more crowded with the games than now. There are more successful companies, and oh my god, now you have running campaigns, ongoing campaigns, like you have the Darkest Dungeon, you have I got the next message from the publisher about the cooperation now. So you have the Frostpunk, you have the Darkest Dungeon ongoing, you have the ongoing Novas Aetas. Probably I'm forgetting about few big ones ongoing this time, and they're reaching big numbers. Because I think 2 years ago or something like that, when Smon was running a campaign, nobody's trying to run a campaign at the same time. Now, there is no problem. If you have enough preparation before, you have good history with the games, and you have enough budget for the marketing, you can launch it anytime, and there's enough buyers. Because I think we are doing the great job to convert more people onto our code. Board gamer code with each day.
Yeah. Board gaming makes life better, for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to shout to our viewers, if there are any questions you want to ask us, maybe, then we're happy to answer them for you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there are just mostly praises, not questions now.
That's why I was saying, if there are any questions, just let us know, and then we're happy to answer them. Maybe a big one. This is always hard for me as well. Top 3 games.
It's not that hard for us, I think.
Top 3 games you would never sell.
Top 3 games I would never sell. It will be our first top, and we agree with Greg on this, will be the Horror Arkham living card game.
Okay.
So this is, you see, this is a card game, and this is in our top 1. We are more into classic board games, but this is our top 1. The second one will be probably will be Mansion of Madness. We'll never sell this out.
Okay.
And the third one will be most of the games we have. I just don't want to say, because for the third position will be games probably like Eldritch Horror, like Tricarion, like Crisis Protocol, like Rising Sun, like, oh my god, there's a lot of, like, Star Wars Rebellia. This is our top 10. In our top 10 is like about 50 games.
Nice.
So we love most of the games we have, but or Arkham living card game is the top 1 for us. Sure. And for you?
Battlestar Galactica is number 1. So no, this is simply a game we just have so much memories of playing together, shouting at each other, "You are a Cylon! No, I'm human! I've saved you!" And so this is just even if you're not
best
playing,
hidden role game ever.
Yeah, until now, I'm absolutely sure of it. Think Twilight Imperium, because of my spouse. I mean, she just wins it every time. Like, we have this house rule: if the first game is not won by her, it's out of the house. So
I know this.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this secret agreement that the first game is biased. I think the third game would be then Terra Mystica. I like the Euro style of it. Just the many options, the many factions, now with 2 expansions. And I think that covers a lot.
Yeah, so I
And
think,
of course, I could go 4 or 5, but it all depends on the people who I play with.
so in your house, it's in top games are space themed. In our house, the Lovecraftian games.
Exactly. So we just made a good division. Okay, great. I think
We
we're running
reached
out
the
of time.
shore. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Thank you for everyone joining us in. And then, yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, and it was nice to see you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And hopefully we'll meet next year in Essen at Spiel 2021.
Yeah, if there will be offline, we are going
gonna be
to
there.
visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Then everything goes back to normal. Great. Make sure to follow Beastie Geeks, follow us, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, to stay connected. We have a Discord channel, and let's stay in touch.
Yeah, guys have active
COVID.
Discord channel, so go to Discord.
Great. Then everyone have a nice afternoon, and
Same for you, same for
enjoy the
the
weekend.
guys with us.